Hey, what's up guys? Aaron here from Clever Programmer again. So today I just want to go over this cool little module I found called Calendar in Python. It's pretty nifty. I actually haven't seen it before, but I stumbled across it and I just want to share it with you guys today. This might be a shorter video. I just thought it was really cool. What could it achieve? So yeah, let's jump right into it. First, let's go to my repls, up in repl IT as usual, and create a new repl. I guess the button is up here now. It used to be a little red plus sign in the bottom right, but they seem to have changed that. Go down to Python. Is this Python 2.7? Have I been using Python 2.7 all this time? Where's Python 3? Hold up, you guys. Python, here we go. All right. Unacceptable. Let's just call this calendar module. So this should be Python 3. If it specifies Python 2.7, then yeah. If it doesn't say, then it's Python 2.7. But if it says just Python, then it's safe to assume that it's Python 3 because that is the standard nowadays. So make sure you click on Python, not Python 2.7 like a dumbo like I did, okay? Let's continue on. Create this repl in Python 3. And now we can get started. So this little module that I found is called Calendar. Literally just calendar. Like ER. Got it. I can never spell that word right, but that's how you import it, okay? Import calendar. And with this, you can do a lot of cool little function calls. I actually think this ties into a couple other modules later on that I will explain. But for now, let's just go through this module, and then I'll mention those at the end again. And then maybe you guys can go and do your homework and tie some things into it and like play around a little bit and learn that way. That's the best way to learn after you watch these highly entertaining videos to a very small subset of people. So let's just start with calling some functions. So there's gonna be a bunch of little cool functions. So let's start here. Let's go calendar.week. Calendar.week header. Okay, I'm just gonna call this function with 2. All right, so what this will do is it gives us the headers of a week. So a week is just like you have a Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, all the way through Sunday, right? Python starts the week on a Monday, so we're just gonna assume that a week starts on Monday here, okay guys? So when I run this, what should pop out are the week headers after calendar is downloaded. So you can, all this stuff here is just I actually don't know what this is, just ignore it, whatever. But down here is the output, okay? This is what we wanted. The week headers here have been printed out nicely for a week. We have Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. And this 2 here that I put in signifying the length of these headers. So actually if I put a 3 in here, then we hit run, then suddenly, what is going on here? Available. Okay, it seems to be working just fine. Just ignore all this stuff. Sometimes computers complain a lot, like somebody who bickers a lot. Yeah, so you see down here how now each of the week headers actually is of length 3 instead of length 2. If you put length 1, does that work? Apparently so, yeah. You just have the capital letters here, but I'm gonna use 3 because I like it being more descriptive. It's just more appealing to me. So that's the first little function that you can do with Python. I'm just gonna add a new line there, or 90. New line. Kabam. Kaboom. Okay. The next one is calendar.first weekday. So this one's kind of useless, but I'm just going to throw it in there because, why not? All this is going to do is going to tell us what the first weekday is. So Monday is 0. Tuesday is 1. Wednesday is 2. This is 3, 4, 5, 6. So the first weekday is Monday. So this is actually just going to print out to 0. This could actually be useful later on, I realize now, because there's some other functions where you need the numbers of the day instead of the actual string to do different things. So this might actually be useful for that. And then you can just add numbers. So if you know first weekday is Monday, then you can just add 1, 2, 3, 4, or 5 to it to get the other days. Let's just print this out and see what happens. As you can see, 0 prints out because Monday is the first weekday, and Monday has an index of 0. So nice and easy there. Let's wrong editor over here. Let's add another new line. An empty print statement will just have an empty line there so you can have some nice spacing here so it's not all clumped together. But yeah, let's continue on. So now things get really, really cool. It almost seems like you're a magician here, like typing in magic. So the next function that I want to go over is month. So all you do is you literally just call calendar.month. Okay? Calendar.month. That's it. All you have to do is put in a year. So let's put in this year, 2019, and the month. So it is January, February, March. Yes, I still count on my fingers, but it's March, the third month. So let's put 3 here. So it's March, right? Yes, it's March. If we print this out, this will actually print out the current month. So let's see how this looks. And would you look at that? It says March 2019. You have the Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and then you have all the days here of the month. Pretty cool, right? It just spits this out in a nicely formatted string for you automatically. Okay? I believe there's actually some other variables. Let me find it for you real quick. Print calendar. Or actually, I'll leave that up to you guys to be an exercise. You can actually find the Python documentation on month and actually go in and try to find out what variable. There's another parameter here you can add here, because if you notice, all these weekday headers are only 2 letters long, but I wanted them to be three letters long. You can actually go in there and find the correct one. It might be like M or something, or C, something like you would put something like that in. But go practice finding it in the documentation. And from there, you can figure out how to read documentation, which is a very, very useful skill, because there's no way you're going to memorize everything in any language or any framework. You're always going to be looking up documentation and Googling stuff to figure out. You're going to be constantly forgetting, constantly learning, but getting good at knowing how to figure stuff out, that's the skill you want to develop. So go look in the documentation, find out how to fix that, and fix it for me, okay? Yeah, like don't make me do everything, all right? Because it's probably just not a good idea. So that's there. Figure out how to make all of these 3 letters long instead of 2. So that's the month function. Now, another cool thing we can do is actually get this month in matrix form. So let's see what that would look like. Calendar. The function, I believe, is month calendar. Okay, just like that. And then you just stick in the same parameters. So yeah, the only change here is you literally just change the function call to month calendar rather than just month. But that should be it there. Let's run this and see what happens. And as you can see, down here, this matrix got printed out. So this might not mean anything to you, but if you look closely, this is actually a matrix, a 2-dimensional array, I believe, of this exact number array here. So these 4 zeros is these 4 empty spots here. This Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday at the beginning that doesn't have anything in it. And then this 1, 2, 3 continues here. And then the second list in the multidimensional array is actually this. And then the third one is actually this. See how that works? So you can actually, instead of just getting the string, like how would you get all the data out of the string? You can actually just get it automatically in an array, nice and clean like that, just by calling this function month calendar instead of month. Very useful if you're actually going to be doing calculations on dates and stuff, which is something you're probably going to have to do if you ever want to schedule something, like schedule your computer to run this thing on, like schedule your computer to run this Python script, to automate this thing, to launch this program, to do this thing, to hack this system, to text your friend, to do something. You know what I mean? You can do whatever the heck you want, but you're going to have to know calendars and times and whatnot to schedule those tasks on your computer. And so that's where I think something like this will be very useful and come in handy like that. So that's why I'm touching on this now. Kind of ties into a new product we have coming out called How to Automate Stuff with Python. More on that at the end of the video. But that is that for the month and the month calendar functions. Now let's go on, okay? Another cool one is, what if I just want to print out the entire freaking year? Well, ta-da, you can do that too. Well, assuming you get these words. I wish there was a better autocomplete on this editor here, because I can't type correctly a lot of the time. But anyways, it's not going to be year as I thought it would be, but apparently if you look up on the documentation, which will tell you what it actually is, you're actually just going to call calendar.calendar, okay, just like that. And then we don't need a month because we're trying to print the entire year, not just a month. So you just put in just the year, just like that. And then when I hit run, you will see magic happen, okay? Click run, and Kaboom! Look at that. The entire freaking year is printed out super prettily. You got the year at the top, 2019. You got January, you got February, you got the entire month headers, the week headers here, Monday through Sunday. You got all the days of the year, all 365 or 364 if it's a leap year. I don't know how that works. But hey, I think that's the day that I fell off the bike in front of my crush. Yeah, February 27th. Anyways, what else? What was I saying? I got off track here. Printing out the whole year. So this is very, very handy. Now you might be wondering, okay, if we could print out the entire month and we could get the matrix for the month, then can we get the matrix for the entire year? No. I thought the same thing. I was like, okay, cool. So you can just get like a really, really big, like 3-dimensional array of all of this crap. But apparently you can't for some reason. No, I don't know what that was. So some weird prompt popped up. Just ignore that. Somebody was hacking me. I think it said Rafe. So I think Kazi's trying to take over this tutorial from a remote location over there. But anyways, you can't actually do that. But what you could do is you could iterate through every month and then get the multi-dimensional array yourself, and then construct something like this for an entire year on your own. That's another little exercise you can do. So why not go and try it? I haven't tried it yet, but I'm sure if I put 5, 10, 15 hours into it, I could figure it out. But I'm sure you guys can do it in 5, 10, 15 minutes. If you look up that calendar.month calendar one that gives you the array, and then just try to iterate and make a for loop and iterate over every month. That would be cool. A cool little exercise, okay? Moving on. What else do we have here? You can also get, there's a cool function here called day of the week, but it's actually the function actually called week. Oh, that's the variable name I gave it because that makes more sense. So day of the week, okay? That's what I want my variable to call. Remember, self-documenting code. Turns the ladies and the gents on. All hot and bothered, you know. If they're into that kind of stuff. But this function is just going to be called calendar dot weekday, and then you just chuck in the year, and then you chuck in the month, and then you also chuck in the day of the month. So today is the 8th, man. Today's the 8th, right? 8th. Okay. We pop that in there. So month, year, month, and day. And what we're going to get here is, remember how I said up here when we have the first weekday, Monday became 0? What it's going to print out is actually an integer that corresponds to the current, whatever weekday this is. So today is actually a Friday. So that's going to be Monday is 0. So again, counting on my fingers. Laugh at me if you like. Monday. So Tuesday will be 1. Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, it'll be 4. It should be integer 4 that prints out from here, okay? Let's hit run, and I did not print it. I make this mistake all the time. Apparently, I never learn. Now let's run it, and boom, 4 right there. Exactly what I thought. 4 actually means Friday. So we can actually put any year. So let's put in freaking year 3000 and see what happens. Is it still going to be a 4? It's going to be a 5. So apparently in year 3000, March 8th, it's going to be a Saturday. I mean, we're all not going to be there. We'll probably be on Mars and Pluto and stuff. Thank you, Elon Musk. You're awesome. But yeah, that's how that function works. What else? Again, probably a useful function for when you actually have a date and then you want to know the weekday to schedule it. Like, oh, I want to schedule every Friday or something, or every Wednesday. You could use this to filter out the integers somehow and figure out the dates, and just you'd have to problem solve and think about it. I don't even know what problem I'm trying to solve with it, but if you're trying to schedule things on a calendar, like this seems like it would definitely be useful. And I'm sure it is because it's in the library, and most things in the library are useful. Not everything, but I mean most things. But moving on, there's a few more. So there's also a function that will tell you if a year is a leap year, which is pretty cool. So let's go calendar.isLeap. And then what is this year? 2019? I don't think it's a leap year. So when we, again, oh, I caught myself, you guys. I need to print this. Is leap. I didn't screw up. I'm learning. Just like you guys, learning just like you guys. So apparently 2019 is not a leap year because it comes out false. But I think 2020 is. So let's run that. And hey, what do you know? Yeah. So every year every 4 years there's a leap year, if you guys didn't know that, which just means there's one less day in February for some weird cosmic reason. There's like the astral gods got pissed off and they decided to troll us or something. I don't know. But I mean, every 4 years, there's a leap year. So this can tell you if a certain year is a leap year or not, which is important if you're calculating days, like, because those will add up. Like every 4 years, you're off by a day. You don't want to be off by a day. Okay? You don't even want to be off by a second. When you're coding, you want to be very precise with everything. So it's very important to be very clear about what you're trying to do and get done, and then get it done 100% cleanly, because even 99% there's a little room for error, and then it'll break sometimes. Like, you don't want that. You're trying to always go for 100%, so as best you can. It's not always possible, but that's at least the idea. Okay, guys? So yeah, a little trick here. Everybody knows, well, I know that 2000 was a leap year, so you can kind of calculate, okay, every 4 years, 2008, 2004, 2008, everything up there. If it's a factor of 4, then you know that it's a leap year from year 2000. Cool stuff. Now, moving on, I think there is only one more function that I saw that was cool to actually play with. Everything else is kind of nitty gritty. They might be useful in weird cases if you're actually trying to problem solve, but yeah, I didn't feel like showing it on a video on YouTube. You know, like, I'll dig it up if I'm actually doing a project and it's useful to me, but it's just boring. Like, it would just bore you guys more than I am right now. So the last one is how many leap days. So this is exactly what I was talking about, how you don't want to be off by 1 day every 4 years if you're trying to calculate over a long period of time, whatever you're trying to do, especially if you're doing, actually, I had an internship where there was a guy who did he was an astronomer. He went to some big school. I forget. This was years ago. But he was doing astronomy and did a lot of coding for big astrological things. I don't know, big cosmic thing, whatever the word is. I'm not an astronomer. Sue me. But basically, when he's doing calculations on that scale, like years and millenniums, those leap years really, really add up. So you actually need to know how those tiny little things change. You need to be like that precise again, because when you're on that scale, even 1 day will screw you up. So very important. But this little function here is how many leap days, and then all that it does pretty much is it tells you how many leap days are in a range of years. So let's collapse this a little bit so you can see. So from year 2000 to year 2001. This might be exclusive or inclusive. I'm not exactly sure, but we'll test it out. That's usually the best way to figure it out. It's one or the other. Just try both, and then you know the answer. Like, it's almost faster than Googling. Sometimes just like, oh, try something else, and then you know. So year 2000 was a leap year. Remember that 2000, the little 2000 trick I used? And 2000 was a leap year. 2001 is not a leap year because it only happens every 4 years. So this should print out as 1, okay? When I print this, hey guys, I'm learning. I didn't forget it again. How many leap days? Let's print this very last one out. Click run, and it says 1. So cool. It picked up that year 2000 is a leap year. 2001 is not. So in this range from 2000 to 2001, there was only 1 leap day that was skipped or added. I don't know if they added a day or subtracted a day. I think it's added day. It doesn't matter. It's irrelevant, but you get the point. Let's see if this is inclusive or exclusive. So the way I would test something like this is actually put in a year that I know is a leap year, so 2004. So I actually know in my head that 2000 and 2004 are both leap years. So there are 2 leap years in this range, but that's only assuming if this is inclusive. It might ignore this year and actually only go 2000 up to 2003. So now when we run this, if we get 1 or 2, it's going to actually answer our question of if this function is inclusive or exclusive on the second parameter here, this 2004. So we'll hit run, and it's 1. So it turns out that it is exclusive. So actually, it ignores 2004. So if you want to include 2004, you'd actually have to put 2005, just like that, or any bigger one. So now it should print out 2, right, guys? Right? All right. So, hey, look, 2, right? We're all right. We're all right. All right all the time. Always right. And then if you wanted to put in maybe like up to 2020, remember exclusive, so it's not going to choose, not include that, and we hit run, then we'll probably get 4 or 5 or something. Yeah, that sounds about right. And year 3000 should be about 250 because there's 1,000 in there. And 243, close enough. Interesting. Actually, maybe there isn't a leap year every 4 years. Maybe every now and then it skips because it should have been closer to 250. It's 243 though. That's interesting. Maybe every now and then there's actually a leap year every 5 years. Google it for me, guys. Post in the comments. That's a cool little fun fact for you guys. But yeah, that's pretty much it for the calendar module. I found this this morning. I just want to make a quick or long video on it. Long video. But yeah, it'd be very useful for scheduling things and whatnot. There's also a module called date time and time, which I have used before. Import date time and import time, these libraries. So what these are is you can actually, I think this gives you a date and a time. So you might actually be using this a lot more in our How to Automate Stuff with Python course coming out in a month or two. Date time, but a calendar would also be useful for making it more legible, I believe. There's probably some way you can leverage it, and I'll find a way to leverage it. If I don't, then I've failed, and I'll go jump off a curb or something. But yeah, so date, time, and time are also things you can look into, and there's actually some functions in calendar that actually interact with these other two modules that make them like they're interoperable. That's a term in programming where you can have two different frameworks or two different programming languages that are interoperable. Like you can actually embed like Java code in Python programs and embed Python codes in Java programs, which is pretty cool. So you could actually say that Python and Java are interoperable, like fully they have full interoperability. I use a lot of big words because they're normal to me, but I'm just gonna say them, and when I catch myself, then I'll explain them so you guys know what the heck I'm talking about, okay? Because it's just jargon that we use in this community because we want to feel smart when none of us are. We're all human. We're all dumb by default. So never feel bad about that, okay? But yeah, so check out those other two modules. That's pretty much it. I was going to mention we do have a new course coming out called How to Automate Stuff with Python. I've probably said that 3 times already, but it's a really cool course about how to automate things on your computer using Python. So you can make Python work while you sleep. It's doing stuff for you while you sleep. You could have it send emails for you like 10 days from now, or every Monday send an email to these sets of people. You could be like, okay, I want to fire this person 27 days from now. His name's Aaron, and I'm going to go on Kazi's account, and I'm going to fire him in 27 days exactly because I don't have to deal with it. So I'm going to go on a trip for 27 days, schedule it, and then boom, he's going to get the email, and he's just going to be gone. It'll be great. It's perfect. So like stuff like that. You could like make like little personal schedules to do whatever you want, but that's kind of the things we're going to be working about in How to Automate Stuff with Python. And that's pretty much it for this video, guys. Please stay tuned. I will see you guys next time. I love your faces off. I stole that from Kazi, and I will yeah, I'll see you guys next time. That's it. Thanks for watching. Goodbye. Get the hell out of here, Kazi.
You're fired.
Leave that in. Bye, guys.